So, what will go in this first one to make it a perfect square trinomial? We have a, and we have 16. The square of 16 is 4. The square root of a is a. So we need 2 times a times 4. 2 times 4 is 8, and our a is right there. Let's next place the 4a. Where does the 4a go? Here. The square root of 4 is 2. 2 times 2 will give us this 4, and the a comes from the first term, so 4a. 14x goes here, because the square root of 49 is 7. 2 times 7 is 14, and the x comes from the first term. 10x goes here, because the square root of 25 is 5, times 2 is 10. Our x comes from the square root of the first term. 6a goes here, because the square root of 9 is 3, times 2 is 6, and then we add the square root of the first term, a. Our 2a goes here. We take the square root of 1, which is 1, multiply it by 2, which is 2, and we add the square root of the first term to make 2a. Finally, 12ab goes here. The square root of 9b squared is 3b. We're going to multiply that by 2, which is 6. And then we're going to multiply that by the square root of the first term, which is 2a. 6 times 2 is 12, and we add the a to give us 12ab. So, we can then factor them into the following. A minus 4 squared. It's a minus here because there's a minus here. And we have the square root of the first term and the square root of the second term, making up these two. X plus 5. The plus sign is here, so we need a plus sign inside. The square root of x, the first term, and the square root of the third term, 5. We take our negative sign here, place it here. X is the square root of the first term, 7 is the square root of the third term. A minus 1 squared. We take the square root of this term, place it here, take our minus sign, place it inside, and take the square root of a squared, which is a. The square root of 4 is 2. There's a subtraction sign here, so it goes inside, and an a squared, the square root of a squared, is a. For our next one, our a comes from the square root of the first term, the plus sign comes from this plus sign, and the 3 is the square root of the third term. And we square root that. And we square that. For 2a plus 3b squared, the 2a is the square root of the first term. The plus sign comes from this plus sign, and 3b is the square root of 9b squared. Now we'll match the missing third terms in the perfect square trinomials, and we'll then factor. What is the missing third term? Here are our possibilities. What we need to look at is half of the middle term squared. Take a moment and try to solve these for yourself.